Civil War is A24's biggest film yet in terms of scope, size, and budgeting. It's the studio's first ever film to release in IMAX theaters. I loved all the marketing for this one, and the early buzz coming out of South by Southwest only escalated my excitement to a whole nother level. And I'm happy to report that this film is great. This thing is a full-on anxiety-inducing trip from start to finish. It's intense, it's thought-provoking, that delivers a highly memorable experience that you'll remember for a while after seeing this movie. What I really wanted from this movie was to not shy away from the political side of things, as controversial as that might get, because this is a very divisive movie, as I'm already seeing, and it's not even fully out in theaters for everybody in the entire world, and it's already very divisive, which, I mean, kind of ironic considering the film is called Civil War, but I did really want it to get into the political side to just showcase the realism of this story, and it delivered on that. This thing does not shy away from the realism of an American Civil War. There's some heavy emotional beats sprinkled throughout this movie, and they're gut-wrenching. This is brutally accurate to something that could realistically happen in the United States in the near future, because I don't live in the United States. I live right next to the United States in Canada, but the state of it's also election year for them. I'm not trying to get into politics right now, but this movie could realistically happen, and that's the scariest part of this movie. I said movie way too many times there. I need to dedicate a segment of this review to the astounding next level cinematography here, because cinematographer Rob Hardy truly went above and beyond for some of these visuals that sort of make this kind of a mandatory screening for the IMAX experience. I personally did see this in IMAX, and it looked fantastic on every single level. Not only is the movie visually striking to see in that format, it's just kind of cool to see an A24 film on a screen that big. It felt kind of nice, because I love the studio, and this is like a blockbuster at this point, and they don't usually make those, so it's kind of cool. So, by the way, this turned into an IMAX commercial really quick, so I'm going to move on. Everyone gives it their all in terms of their performances, especially Cailee Spaeny, who I haven't seen her in a lot of projects. She was in Priscilla last year, which I missed in theaters, and I haven't checked it out at home. But she was absolutely phenomenal in this specific project. Nailed every single sequence she was in, and this might be Kirsten Dunst's best performance to date. She packs a strong punch with her line delivery, and everyone just does a fantastic job and really brings this movie to life. Moving into some of the negatives, this thing is more so about the implications of war towards humans instead of the actual war. So I was beyond confused on whose side who was on and whatever. But this movie, by the way, the war that is in this movie, it's really confusing to see how it starts, in my opinion. I didn't even know what was going on for the first 20 minutes, because this movie doesn't really want to explain that. But if you're expecting a high-level war movie with a lot of action and blood, you're not getting that. You're getting a film about people, not war. So if you are going in with that attitude, you're going to be severely disappointed. But even with that, it's thoroughly engaging from start to finish, and it feels like a full-on horror film at times because of just how stressfully tense it gets. It gets kind of insane at times. You could hear a pin drop. No one was even eating a bit of their popcorn. It was pretty cool to see, but also just scary at times. I don't know how to explain it fully, but it's nerve-wracking filmmaking at its absolute best. I loved it. Overall, Civil War is Alex Garland's magnum opus. I haven't seen a lot of his films. The last film he released, I don't even remember what it was, but this is definitely his magnum opus. This is the one that's going to get him into stardom, in my opinion. I assume, because of just how big and nerve-wracking this movie is. This is one to definitely check out, whether it's the biggest screen on earth or your TV. A must-watch. You need to check it out, and it's good for a one-time watch, even if you don't fully like it, which I'm already seeing a bunch of people being very divisive on this movie. But personally, I loved it, even with a bit of its flaws.